What's going on, family? This Sean, man, with KG1st Financial Group. I want to tell y'all a quick story right quick about a client I just finished helping. Pretty interesting guy. He was referred to me by another client of mine out of Texas who owns an HVAC company. I guess they've been knowing each other for like 30 years. Mark's been in the plumbing space for about 10 years. Payroll, employees, equipment, overhead, but he did something pretty unique. Most business owners get that profit margin, they take it, they put it right back into the business. He scaled very well. So he's doing, multiple six figures a year, but he had a scare. And, being somebody who I can relate to as a father, as a husband, he's got two kids, one on the way, he's been married for several years. He's a provider. He's building his business because he wants this foundation, obviously something that he can leave as he builds on it for his family as a legacy. So the interesting aspect of it is Mark's wife tapped him on the shoulder one day and said, "Hey, did you hear about a friend of theirs who got diagnosed with cancer?" So this was happening at the same time that his business had a little bit of a tight spot where he had some equipment that needed to be taken care of. He had to continue to make payroll. Bills were coming in, but one of his biggest customers had slowed down on paying the invoices. So there was a little bit of a squeeze where he was trying to pull money from here or figure out here. He told me one interesting statement. He was like, "Man, Sean, I know I look good on paper." He says, "But I have a hard time accessing money that I have that's mine sometimes when I have emergencies like this, and it causes me to contemplate digging into what I built for my family, and I don't want to do that." I said, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then he also said, "Well, on top of that, man, you're looking at a friend of mine just got diagnosed with cancer, and I started to think like, what if something like that would have happened to me?" And I said, that's a good question. What if something like that happened to you? I mean, what if, you couldn't work for 6 months? What if something happened to the family and, life changed overnight like it did for me? My wife had breast cancer out of the blue, couldn't work anymore. Those next 2 years were hard. So for him, he's like, "Well, I'm building this business because I want to leave it as a legacy. Um, I want it to be able to sustain me and help me to retire, but I don't see how I can maybe take a step back, especially when things like this come up and payroll still needs to be taken care of. My employees, my clients, my customers, what do I do?" So we sat down, just like I sat down with the gentleman that referred him to me, who owns an HVAC company, and we put products to the side. I said, "What is it that concerns you most?" He said, "I want to be able to walk away comfortably at a specific time. I want to be able to not have to worry about when these types of situations pop up, where am I going to pull the money from? I've been in corporate America for 20 years. I got out of that, started my business. I used some of that 401k money and I was taxed. I still have a little left, but if I reach for that, I'm taxed again. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go into my legacy account because that's for my family. And I don't want to go into the reserves that I put aside for the business at times because these are great months that I'm having and I'm putting away nice money. So eventually I kind of just want to transition that over to legacy. So what can I do to change that? And I said, "Well, listen, if you've got multiple trucks, you understand that one truck could go and service 5 or 6 clients a day, right? So let's say if we could strategically put something together where each dollar could go and get $6 for you, you'd have a tax advantage situation there. You have intentional wealth building there, and then you can access that anytime you want it. Does that sound good?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, but how do you do that?" And I said, "Well, that's where IUL comes in." He was like, "Well, life insurance doesn't do that for you. You only get, to benefit from that when you die and someone gets that money." And I says, "Well, that's not how IULs work." So what we did was we structured a 5-year funding plan. I'm going to show you guys that really quick, to where he could fund it for 5 years. Because he had great months, his number is substantial. His number is $25,000 a year for 5 years, totaling $125,000. So one of the things that stood out to him is he said, "Well, I can stop contributing after 5 years." I said, "Yeah, Because let's look at the numbers. You're getting three columns. Your first column is your legacy column. That's the one to the end. That one's going to keep increasing, as you guys can see. But the two that really stand out are cash value and surrender value. So your cash value account is the account that earns the interest, right? That's the account that's going to continue to be affected by the growth of the market without taking any losses. This money is tax-free. This money builds wealth and it compounds. Rule 72. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but check the other video for that. The surrender value, KG1st always talks about infinite banking and family banking. So infinite banking allows for this column to serve as a bank account for you. So let's just say, like that tight spot you were in, you come across another one and you've been feeding this, year or two, you see the number. You can pull from that tax-free. Immediately it's yours. You don't have to worry about getting approved for it. You don't have to worry about credit card. You don't have to worry about getting a small loan. This money has been compounding over the next couple of years. Even after the first year, you have access to this amount here. This money is for the rainy days if you want. This money is vacation money. This money is payroll money. This money is buffer money. But let's fast forward and look at 65. Now your money's compounded. Now you can structure this as a retirement. We didn't show you this aspect of it, but you can turn this into an income stream if you like. Let's fast forward to say you want to work till 70, right? You've got multiple $100,000 that have been growing safe. It's now tax-free. On top of that, you can access it. And then the cherry on top is living benefits. So you mentioned something about your friend having cancer. Again, I can relate to that all too well. I wish I had known someone like myself when this happened, before this happened to my wife. So living benefits serve as a purpose to where if something were to happen to you like that, as unfortunate as it is, you can turn this into an income stream for 2 years, 4 years, or take a lump sum. So business owners also have the benefit to use this as a write-off. Section 162. We can talk about that. So if you're a business owner out there, if you're a husband, if you're a wife, if you're a brother, if you know someone in business and this resonates and you kind of want to see what this looks like for your situation, click the link below, schedule a call with us, DM me, and we'll get a link out to you so we can schedule a call with you and we'll walk you through it and show you some numbers. So talk to y'all later. KG1st out.